Okay, if you look over on the left-hand side of your chart, you'll see the money lines. The money lines will rise up from the head and spine line, travel up towards the mercury finger, the pinky finger. These lines will reflect how many income streams you'll experience at any given time. The timeline starts at around age 20 at the head and spine line, and when it transverses that heart line, that's about age 45. And the area between the top of the heart line and the bottom of the little ring around the little finger is the late 40s and up into your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and beyond. There's a timeline that runs up through that. Now, these are any income streams from jobs you have or spouse's jobs, investments, inheritance, or any money that comes into your household. And you've got to count student loans, anything that increases your income into your household. Later on, we'll show you how to correlate these lines with achievement lines and the fate line. So from age 20 to 35, you have two lines, that's two income streams. From 35 to 46, you have two different lines. Then from 46 to 65, you have three lines. From 65 to 72, you've got four lines, that's excellent. Then from 72 on up into your 80s, you have two lines, two income streams. Alright, moving on to your relationship and marriage lines. That area just above the flirt lines, just below the bottom ring of that mercury or that little finger, are your relationships and your marriages. These horizontal lines sit between the top of the heart line and the bottom of the ring on that little finger. There's a timeline there, and you divide these up into three sections. Now, coming up from the bottom, that first section is your 20s and 30s, the middle section is your 40s and 50s, and that third section is 60 and above. You'll read those lines beginning from the back of the hand, which is the start of the relationship or the marriage, towards the palm, which is later on. The lighter lines will be relationship lines, and the darker ones, the more prominent lines, will stand out and have a great density and color to them, reflect your marriages. So as we take a look at those horizontal lines on the edge of the right hand, and you can see that relationship line, it goes along pretty good. Then you have this line that comes down on the bottom, kind of a growing apart line, because it kind of stops there and then it just kind of separates out. But then you have this very strong marriage line. It's a good solid line. It has a nice color to it, a nice depth to it. Now you have kind of an overlap on that line, and what that means is a physical separation. Now that's nothing to worry about. What that means is that maybe your partner works in a different city, or they're in military service, or something where there's kind of a physical separation. But it's a very strong line, goes along nice and consistent. And then we don't see any other marriage lines there. Now, in order to find a timeline on this, we go over to the left hand and we look on the fate line, and we look for this little Y that sprouts off of there, and you have one right there, right around age 33 years old. But it's a very strong marriage line. Now, the children lines come down vertically from the bottom of that ring around the mercury finger, and you count them from the inside of your palm to the outer edge. And these can be biological children, stepchildren, adopted, godchildren, or nieces and nephews, any child that you build a strong bond with. And as we take a look at those vertical lines, and they come right off that bottom ring of that pinky finger, right on the edge of that right hand, and you actually have three very strong lines there. Then there's a little gap and a bunch of little lines behind that. Those are grandchildren. You don't usually count those grandchildren in your hands. Those are better counted in your children's hands. But you have three very strong children lines, a good close bond. Look for the hand analysis chart. It has the big hand on it. The first thing you need to know is that your left hand is your past. Your right hand is your present and future. It does not matter what your dominant hand is. Most of the work we do is on the right hand. Sometimes we'll reference that left hand. Before we get started, let me give you a little insight about palmistry and how the lines and markings are named. It's about 2,000 or 3,000 years old. Some say it's even a little bit older than that. And they've gone through and they've named all the fingers in certain sections of the hand with names of Greek gods and goddesses, or with astrological names. So that index finger is the Jupiter finger, the middle finger or business finger is the Saturn finger, the ring finger is the Sun finger, some like to call it the Apollo finger or the finger of Apollo, the little or the pinky finger is the Mercury finger. That section there between the head and the heart line is called the Mars area. Another important area is the base of the thumb, that little fat pad. It's the Mount of Venus, the goddess of love. This will reflect your sexual libido. It also shows how well you're hydrated. You want to see a little fat pad there so tight you can hardly pinch or pick up the skin. And you look like you're well hydrated. Okay, look down there on your chart where it says palm shape. The shape of your palm is your most important talent, and it looks like you have a conic palm. This is a combination between a square and a round palm. It means you're active and creative. It's actually a musician's hand. Okay, look in the upper right-hand corner of your chart, and this is your fingertip shapes. They reveal your personality type. It looks like you have a combination of fingertips. You have spatulate fingertips, meaning you're intense, dramatic, energetic. Most actors and actresses have these fingertip shapes. And you have round fingertips, meaning you're intuitive, quick, compassionate. You should actually be in the health field. Okay, now the length of your fingers in relationship to the length of your palm and other fingers are your talents, what you're good at. Long fingers mean one thing, short fingers mean another. No one gets shorted. Everyone has their own unique talents. Nothing is good or bad. They all have their good qualities. Let's start with the thumb. You have a short thumb. It means you work well with numbers. They come easy to you. You remember phone numbers, dates, anything that deals with numbers. A lot of accountants and mathematicians have short thumbs. Alright, moving on to the Jupiter finger. That is your index finger. You have an average index finger. This means you have some qualities of both the short and the long, like you have leadership quality, such as teachers, supervisors, or in sales, and you work well on your own. Okay, your business or your Saturn finger. Now this is the finger that is the basis of all measurement for all the other fingers. It should be almost as long as your palm. And you have an average Saturn finger, meaning you're concerned with social issues and how they affect your fellow man, but you understand that business must be conducted in a professional manner that results in a win-win situation. Now the ring finger, or the sun finger, some call it the finger of Apollo, is your creative finger. It represents your right brain. And you have a long sun finger, which means you're very creative, imaginative, inventive. Finally, your pinky finger, or your Mercury finger. This is your scholarly finger. It represents your left brain. And you have a long Mercury finger. It means you're scholarly. Doctors, lawyers, and writers have these fingers. It means you'll work well with words. Okay, let's start with the lines and markings on the palm of your right hand. Look on your chart and find the heart line. It's the top horizontal line just under the fingers. Now follow the heart line to the end just underneath that Mercury finger, or that pinky finger. Those are your flirt lines, the little tassels on the end of the heart line. That's a good indicator of how well you interact with others. And you have a couple of tassels on the end of that heart line, so it means that you do okay when you interact with other people. In fact, you're really kind of a social person, so you tend to kind of meet new people and interact with them. Okay, we're going to shoot over here to the heart line. The heart line is the horizontal line at the top of the palm. It's just below the fingers and tells us about your emotional state. And you have a straight heart line, which means you're tough emotionally. You hold your cards kind of close to your chest. You don't put up with other people's games and shenanigans. You say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay, on to the headline. The headline is the horizontal line that spans across the middle of your palm. It sits just below that heart line. And if you look on your chart there, it starts in between the thumb and index finger, and it ends towards the edge of the palm just underneath that Mercury finger. This line represents how well you use your mental energy. The straighter across the palm that line goes, the sharper you are. If it dips down just a little bit at the end, or even a lot into that luna area, that little fat pad that runs vertical up to that little finger from your wrist on the outside of your palm, it can indicate a little bit of depression or brain fog, and this is when your mind just doesn't quite work at its peak performance. Now, as we examine that headline, your headline actually goes really straight across the palm of your hand. It's a nice, strong, consistent line. Now, when you get out just underneath that ring finger, you can see where it dips down into what we call the amount of luna on the edge of the hand, and that can indicate a little bit of depression or anxiety, but that's something that we really go in depth in the in-depth readings as far as possible cause and some solutions. But other than that, that headline goes along nice and consistent, good strong line. You don't see any big breaks or big islands in the line. It means you have a good use of that mental energy. It's a very strong line. Alright, let's move on to your achievement lines. Now these achievement lines are small lines that rise up off the top of the lifeline, and they travel up towards that Saturn finger. The small lines represent your achievements, your successes, all of your wins in life, like graduating high school or graduating college also. Marriages, having children, getting a new job, a promotion, coming into money, any type of thing, like winning awards, anything that's a win in life. Now these rise off the top of the lifeline until you're around age 40, and then right there at the bottom, it kind of moves to the inside of that lifeline where they rise up. Let's look at what ages your achievements are, and you'll find the ages on those achievements right there at the top in the very middle of your chart. So it looks like you've got achievements at age 12, 13, 15, 18, really good one there at age 26. We've got it circled. And 29, 32, 33, 35, 37, 39, 40, 46. A good one there at age 48. Then 50, 52. 53 and 55 are both really good achievements. Then 58, good one there at 59. Then 62. 65 is another good achievement. Then 67. 69, good one there at 72, then 75, and another really good one there at age 77. Now, something you must understand about these lines or any other lines that we quote an age on, and these are just approximations, you want to add or subtract a year or two from that age. For example, let's say we indicate like age 50. That could be age 48, 49, 50, 51, 52. We don't always hit the age right exact, but we come pretty close most of the time. Okay, we're going to move on to your fate line. The fate line, this is in your right hand only, reflects changes in your lifestyle or career, and they're really actually kind of interconnected. There's a timeline that starts at the bottom of the palm. It's right there right around the wrist, which is your younger years, and it travels up towards the middle Saturn finger for your later years. Now, whenever there's a break in that line, it will show a change in your lifestyle or career. And if you have more than one line, that depicts additional responsibilities like another job or taking care of someone or something like an intense hobby or maybe even a cause that you're a part of. Now, this fate line will also show how long you'll live in your present state of health, and this is barring any foreseen accidents or disease. Now, that fate line starts at the base of the palm and travels up, and if it starts right in the center, you're kind of a private person. If it starts on the outside, you're a social person. And you have kind of a combination of social and private characteristics, meaning you don't mind being around people sometimes, but at the end of the day, you'd rather spend time at home alone, away from others, to decompress. Okay, now if you'll take a look down in the bottom right hand corner of your chart, you'll see the fate line, and this is where you have changes in your career or lifestyle, and they're really both interconnected. So from age 20 to 24, you've got 4 lines, and that could be a couple of jobs and maybe some responsibilities, or one job and some responsibilities, and you've got a change right there at age 24. Then from 24 to 26, there's 1 line with a change at 26. From 26 to 29, you have 2 lines. And then from 29 to 37, you have 3 lines with changes there at age 31, 33, and 37. Then from 37 to 50, you have 1 line with a change right there at age 50. From 50 to 59, you have 4 lines again. So you're going to be busy up there in your 50s. And you have a change right there at 59. From 59 to 65, you have 3 lines with a change there at age 65. Then from 65 on up into your 80s, there's 2 lines. And then those lines go up there into your late 80s. Now, we talked a little bit earlier about how to put your money lines, achievement lines, and the fate line together. We're going to start right here at age 26. You can see on your achievement lines, you've got a big achievement there, and that shows down on your fate line in that bottom right-hand corner where you have a change in your career or lifestyle. Then you have an achievement there at age 33, and that shows down on your fate line. Then you have an achievement there at age 35. It doesn't show down on your fate line, but it shows over on your money lines as kind of a little switch to 2 different income streams. And you have an achievement there at age 37, that shows down on your fate line. You have an achievement there at age 46, that shows down on your fate line. Then it shows a little more of an increase in your income streams over on your money lines. Then you have an achievement there at age 50, and that shows down on your fate line. Big achievement there at age 59, and that shows down on your fate line. Then you have an achievement there at age 65. That shows on your fate line, and then it shows another increase in your income streams over on your money lines. Then you have a big achievement there at age 72, and then it shows a little decrease in your income streams on your money lines. So that's how we put all these lines and markings together to where they validate each other and let you see the big picture.